Last night, when I was on bottle number 2, I thought I came up with the most brilliant clickbait. I am going to make something called steak a la Christian Louboutin. Black pepper steak, black on top, cooked only on one side, red sauce, painted with some ketchup, and then I'll somehow make a sauce that looks like the red carpet. No, I genuinely thought the idea had like 1 million subscribers written all over it, but we're not gonna do that today. However, I did wake up thinking that I wanted a peppered steak, but with a small twist. With dishes like foie gras, for example, I always prefer some acidity to pierce through the fat instead of having a sauterne as a wine pairing or sauterne sauce that is sweet. Same goes with the pepper steak. Because it has so much oomph from the black pepper itself, I want something with a bit of acidity to balance it instead of using cream like the traditional French recipe, steak au pois, or whatever the correct pronunciation is. So, first, we make the sauce. Very simple. We're going to have a bit of shallots. Maybe half a shallot will do. You can do them quite coarse because we're gonna liquidize the sauce later. Olive oil in the pan, shallots in, just a bit of salt to get it started. While we prep everything else, we have red bell pepper. Again, quite coarse. Perfect. Red bell in, a bit more salt to help it get started again. Now, a bit of garlic, again quite coarse. Bit of bird's eye chili. Now, bird's eye chili is not when you want to show off your knife skills. The seeds are potentially lethal. Right, now go wash your hands and wash your knife. With red and yellow bell pepper, you really don't want to wilt the crab out of it before you liquidize because you want to maintain the freshness, unlike green bell, which develops so much depth when you cook the crab out of it, like in a gumbo. If you want a bit more depth, you can add a touch of tomato puree, but today I want to keep it clean. Now, white wine for a bit more acidity. You have to evaporate the alcohol fully before you add any other liquids. The same applies to when you make a stew or when you make a soup with white wine. You cannot evaporate after you've added the liquid, so be mindful of that. In this case, we want to keep some of the brightness and acidity, so I'm less anal about it. But you at least want the alcohol to fully evaporate. No, that's for me. The world's smallest dash of soy sauce. That's just me being me. You don't have to. Just for a bit of umami. And because we have pepper on top, of course a bit of pepper here. And this beauty is ready to be liquidized. Just do not splash. I mean, you don't have to do this. My dry cleaning bill is already off the chart. Oh my god, that took longer than the whole recipe. If you have pickled chili sauce or pickled chili, that would also be a wonderful addition to this. Whatever liquidizer you have. Careful of splashing. This goes back to the pan to keep warm while we prep our steak. Every bit counts. That's summery goodness on a cold winter day. Right, this keeps warm. The lowest possible setting you have. Let's cook some steaks. Fillet steaks gets a really bad rep amongst foodies and chefs because it has no flavor. It is true to some extent, but a really good grass-fed actually has a lot of flavor. But today, we're gonna give it a lot of flavor by making a crust with black pepper and a bit of cornstarch. First, let's prep the steak. So, this is completely optional, of course. Butcher's twine. Just to give it the medallion shape people associate with fillet steak. It's nicer on the eye. And to help it cook a bit more evenly, you want to shape it a bit, basically. 1, 2, 3, and you pull. Till you're happy, do one more knot. This goes. Now, we slice the beautiful medallions. That's for my daughter later. Now, for the crust, black pepper. Not too fine. Yes, that's a lot. This is the primary ingredient, after all. Well, besides the steak. And a bit of cornstarch. This is a Marco Pierre White recipe. Mix. If you see lumps, that's because the essential oil from the black pepper binds with the cornstarch. Now, steak down. Perfect. Go straight into the cold pan. Same goes here. You want the crust to form slowly, otherwise it will just burn and wash off right away. Ideally, you want to season that as well with salt, but we'll season the other side. Cold pan. We introduce some heat gradually. There's no oil in the pan at this moment, by the way. We will add some vegetable oil later on. And of course, we salt the other side. Please also salt the first side, unlike me. We're going to do what's called single-sided searing, which means the steak would cook 70 to 80% from one side, and the other side would just touch the pan to get a tiny bit of color. This way, we ensure we have the best caramelization for the crust. Now you can hear the heat has penetrated and it started to sizzle. I'm just lowering the heat slightly to prevent it from burning the crust. Now, when you can smell the fragrance of the black pepper, we add a bit of high smoke point oil. In this case, we're using vegetable oil. Now, it looks like we're halfway there. So we're gonna check on the crust. It's beautiful. And we sear the other side. We bring a bit more heat back in because we just want to brown the other side right now. You can always rectify your mistakes. Except for pastry. And let's reinforce the crust. Because we're not searing the sides, you can even see how cooked it is. We're not even gonna probe it this time. For me, that's rare. We let it rest. It will just touch medium rare, which is how I like fillet steak, because it doesn't have a lot of connective tissue. You don't want to overcook it. Stove off. We'll let it rest for about 2 minutes. Now, let's plate. A warm container and the wonderful summery sauce that was meant to be the red carpet. I'm not going to insult your intelligence with the clickbait. That's my copywriter's job. Of course, 4 beautiful medallions. Gonna even out the sauce. Reinforce the black pepper once again. Some would call it a Louboutin-inspired steak, but we won't. And there you have it. Black pepper steak on a bed of red bell pepper sauce. I really hope you enjoy.